Hi guys, welcome to the Fight Edge channel. Eddie Hearn, the promoter of former world heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua, discussed the details of the rematch of the word with the owner of the WBA, WBO and IBF titles Alexander Usyk. Eddie Hearn assured that his word is determined to be the owner of the WBA, WBO and IBF titles Alexander Usyk in a rematch. British heavyweight veteran Dereck Chisora, in a familiar and very eccentric manner, spoke about the upcoming rematch with the New Zealand ex-champion Joseph Parker, which will take place on December 18 in Manchester. The former rival of the WBA, WBO and IBF heavyweight champion Alexander Usyk, Dereck Chisora, believes that Anthony Joshua will be able to regain his titles in a rematch with the Ukrainian. The British boxer also called on WBC champion Tyson Fury to fight against Dillian White. John Fury, the father of the WBC heavyweight champion Tyson Fury, is sure that all other heavyweights, including Alexander Usyk, are afraid to fight his son's former rival Deontay Wilder. John Fury believes that Anthony Joshua should thank his trainer Robert McCracken for hearing the final gong in the fight against Alexander Usyk. Authoritative American journalist Dan Rafael said that he has no doubt about the imminent organization of a heavyweight championship bout between Britain's Tyson Fury and Dillian White. Friends, before starting to watch this video, I would like to ask you to subscribe to my channel. If you really enjoy the content, then please subscribe to my channel and keep watching the videos. If you are subscribed, then you receive notifications about the release of new videos. You do not even have to look for anything personally. I really want to get 10,000 subscribers on my channel. I am trying very hard absolutely every day and I need your support. Your likes, comments, reposts to social networks. Thanks to everyone who subscribes to my channel. You are my support. Thank you so much. Eddie Hearn, the promoter of former world heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua, discussed the details of the rematch of the word with the owner of the WBA, WBO and IBF titles Alexander Usyk. I think the rematch will most likely take place in late March or early April. Probably both guys are resting, although Joshua will prepare a little more because he wants to correct mistakes. Everyone saw his trip to America, during which he just wanted to watch and learn. It seems to me that he will be back there before the end of the year. In a few weeks, we will start negotiations with Usyk's team and determine the location of the fight. Probably the deadline for the rematch is the beginning of summer, but we do not plan to hold it so late. The beginning of spring looks more realistic. I will talk to Alexander Usyk and Usyk's team to choose a potential location for this fight. I would like to spend it in the United Kingdom, but there are other options. We were ready to hold the last fight somewhere abroad, and then it turned out to be a grand spectacle. Naturally, this time the fight will be even bigger, Hearn said. As Hearn, the promoter of former world heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua, assured that his word is determined to be the owner of the WBA, WBO and IBF titles Alexander Usyk in a rematch. All I hear is Joshua telling me that he really wants to win and beat Usyk. I didn't hear anything like that before the first fight. He's angry and that's a good thing. Robert McCracken is more than a coach for Joshua. He is his friend, mentor, advisor. I think a change of scenery will do Joshua good. It seems to me that a recent trip to America has updated it. There was nothing like in the United Kingdom when he was surrounded by a crowd. I'm not saying that in the United States people don't know Anthony, but in the United Kingdom he can't walk. Joshua is photographed everywhere. Besides, he also devotes time to everyone. This can further tire him, said Eddie Hearn. British heavyweight veteran Dereck Chisora, in a familiar and very eccentric manner, spoke about the upcoming rematch with the New Zealand ex-champion Joseph Parker, which will take place on December 18 in Manchester. I can't say that I'm completely committed to the event, because I'm going to be honest with you. To Eddie Hearn, there are some things that bother me. I want to talk to my management and get an American referee and good judges, because I've been robbed too often. I was robbed in Helsinki in a fight with Robert Helenius, and did it in the first fight with Dillian White, and that was your card. And then you robbed me again in Manchester. Eddie Hearn, Dereck Chisora said. The former rival of the WBA, WBO and IBF heavyweight champion Alexander Usyk, Dereck Chisora, believes that Anthony Joshua will be able to regain his titles in a rematch with the Ukrainian. It will be a great fight. I hope that the titles will return to the United Kingdom again. Now Usyk just keeps the belts warm. We don't have to worry about it, Dereck Chisora said. The British boxer also called on WBC champion Tyson Fury to fight against Dillian White. This fight should take place in Manchester or at Wembley. It's time for British fans to see the return of the Gypsy King to this homeland, and the fact that it will be a defense against one of our compatriots should make this fight great, Chisora said. Recall that in September Joshua lost to Usyk by unanimous decision, but he has to the right to an immediate rematch. John Fury, the father of the WBC heavyweight champion Tyson Fury, is sure that all other heavyweights, including Alexander Usyk, are afraid to fight his son's former rival Deontay Wilder. What can I take with Joshua? He was beaten. Come on, let's be honest. Having looked at War of Two Men, do you think that Joshua will ever come out against one of them? I will tell you that no one will fight Wilder. Usyk won't fight Deontay Wilder because it's too dangerous. Joshua will definitely not go down this path. Dillian White withdrew from the fight against Otto Wallin. He listened to my words. White said to himself, "John knows what he's talking about. I'm not going to fight with Wallin. I'll probably get knocked out and I won't get my title chance. I wrote to him to listen my videos," said John Fury. John Fury believes that Anthony Joshua should thank his trainer Robert McCracken for hearing the final gong in the fight against Alexander Usyk. Robert McCracken was trying to keep him on his feet. He advised him to reach the 12th round and not lose ahead of Shadow. I think if Joshua had fought definitely, he would have been dejected. Usyk would have knocked him out. It was like being careful when you're happy about second place. What can you do when a fighter fights with this attitude? Your job as a coach is to keep him on his feet. Whether Joshua won or not is another matter, because McCracken saved his life because Anthony can fight again. Imagine if Usyk had strangled him. After that, Joshua would be done for good, wouldn't he? I think McCracken saved his future. Joshua can come back after the defeat because it wasn't so bad. And this defeat turned out to be thanks to McCracken. Rob is a good specialist, said John Fury. John Fury, the father of the WBC World Heavyweight Champion Tyson Fury, said that his son was injured before the third fight with American Deontay Wilder. According to John, this is why Tyson was unable to demonstrate his full potential in this confrontation. It wasn't a boxing match, was it? Tyson was seriously injured before the fight. He had injection in both elbows and they were numb. Then he underwent surgery. He had bone spurs that he had to get rid of. At the moment, Tyson was disabled, so the boxing part flew out the window. Still, I knew he would win, because when I looked into Tyson's eyes, he was ready to destroy and destroy. And that's what he did. One of the most exciting fights I've ever seen. To be honest, Tyson only had 3.5 weeks to prepare, Fury said. Recall that Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder had their third fight on October 9th at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. The victory was won by a British boxer by technical knockout in the 11th round. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel.